carnivores. Ugh.
Have you guys seen Simba?
I thought he was with you.
He was, but now I can't find him. Where is he?
You won't find him here. The king has returned.
Hey, what's going on here? Who's the monkey?
Hello, Internet. Hello, Internet dwellers, and welcome back to Top Shelf Disney Animation Studios Library. I am very, very sick right now. I am
Jeff.
sorry.
Jeff Bell, you know why this has happened to you?
Why?
You spent the entire movie roaring at the screen
That's
anytime
true.
there was a lion on the screen. I mean, it was a weird game.
Hey, look, I was trying to just do what Frank Welker would have done in my position, which trivia, he did all of the lion roars in the movie.
There you
None
go.
none of those roars are real, guys. They're all fake. They're all
Really?
human. Yeah.
That is actually an interesting way to kick off this episode with an interesting bit of trivia, because I would have guessed that they had just had actual lions roars.
No, it's
Well, there
Frank
you go.
Welker. It's the guy who did Abu from Aladdin, who does
Well,
who always does animals.
You should not have been doing your Frank Welker impression of lion impressions, because listen to your voice now, Jeff.
I know.
Jeffrey.
I do not have a voice. My nose isn't working. So anyways, I'm Jeff, the one that can't talk in this week's episode. That's TC, the one that will be
Hi.
talking a lot in this week's episode.
I don't know if I can handle this.
Well, we'll just see how well this episode goes. But I wanted this was the only time available for us to record, and I wanted to make sure we could record it and get this week's episode out, because I know, TC, as you usually do, you manage to keep this show going every single week, whether I'm here or not. So
I'm a team. We're a team, Jeff. We are the Timon and Pumbaa of this podcast. Of all the people involved in this podcast, of everyone involved,
Of
I mean,
all
really,
of
you and I, we're the Timon and Pumbaa of this.
am I Pumbaa? Is that the character?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
the Nathan
Yeah.
Lane of the two of us.
I'm the Nathan Lane.
This is the time that I would normally
That's
do.
right. That's what I am, Jeff. That's what I'm. That was a little more Jerry Lewis. Not entirely. Nathan Lane's got a very distinct voice, and
He's very Brooklyn
there,
and Jewish.
that is better. Oh, man,
man.
do you? Can
I'm
I
sick.
personally be? I'll be Nathan Lane. I'll be Timon, but you can voice me.
I do your voice for you. That's perfectly okay. I think I probably could do Pumbaa, but I don't want to ruin the little bit of voice I have left right now. So I will.
So
not.
everyone, we were in 1994, correct?
Yes.
1994, The Lion King.
Yes. So a couple years separated between this one and Aladdin. We definitely have a lot of new people behind the scenes working on The Lion King. We don't have Alan Menken and Howard Ashman, since Howard Ashman had passed away midway through
Yes.
Aladdin. So we get Elton John and Tim Rice. Now Tim Rice did some lyrics for Aladdin, so he kind of came over with it as well. And I can definitely say, just right out of the bat, if you look at the songs from Aladdin and you look at the songs from The Lion King, they are two very different worlds of music.
Oh yes, yeah. The Howard Ashman and Menken coming from a background of Broadway, that Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast, they have a Broadway feel to them. And though Lion King did go on to become one of the biggest Broadway hits of all time, this music does feel quite a bit different than the music we've had up to this point, which is, I guess we're diving right into talking about music here. Tim Rice and Elton John have cranked out some incredible hits on this soundtrack, but even more, Hans Zimmer, the first animated score that Hans Zimmer didn't even want to do this, but he was convinced by the content and the themes that he dove into this. And he considers this the achievement of his entire career, the soundtrack to Aladdin.
It's The Lion King.
Sorry. Yes, The Lion King. All that preamble to screw up there at the end. Way to go.
I know. And what's all my fault? It's because I'm sick and I'm infecting you, TC.
But the score of this is so good. The Zimmer, along with Elton John and Tim Rice's pop hits, are the lyrical songs in this. as well as the musical consulting that you got from the African choirs, and Lee Boehm, I think, is the composer's name, who was originally approached to do this, who did create some of the themes that went on to be part of the Broadway show. The music behind this alone is definitely is just an achievement of music for this library and for film in general.
I will say this movie's soundtrack is the first soundtrack I ever owned.
Oh wow! Okay.
So, and which I mean, back when these things came out in the '90s, well, I guess you could even argue up until maybe like the mid 2000s, but a lot of them always would just be the handful of the songs that were in the movie. So if there was any actual lyrical songs, and then you might get a couple tracks of the score, because nobody really cared about the score of a film. There was specialty releases of the score, but they were very limited. They were minimum. They only came out to certain collectors, and they were gone. But this soundtrack actually had kind of a almost an equal balance, I feel like, between like the 5 or 6 Tim Rice, Elton John songs, so like "Circle of Life" and "Just Can't Wait to Be King." You know, and obviously, "Can You Feel the Love Tonight?" That's a huge. That's the one I think a lot of people think of. It's what won the Oscar.
Right.
But then like the second half of the album was all of the was a good selection of the themes and the score. And I just remember as a kid being like, wow, I didn't know you could get the music to the movie. I didn't realize the impact of a score on a movie until I started like listening to this soundtrack, and then move my way into other ones like A Goofy Movie, and the list goes on from there. But then once you heard the score by itself and you realize, wow, there's a lot of emotion and impact in there that I guess I was picking up while watching the movie subconsciously.
Yeah, it's more than just the fill music, the tonal music. Not that it plays in tones, but the mood setting music that has come from previous films. Mm-hmm. Not to disparage the scores of any of the films we've seen in the library up to this point, but Hans Zimmer being the modern legend he is in terms of composition, to bring that level of experience and skill to this film elevates it, and This movie is an anomaly. I'm going to jump right into talking about the behind-the-scenes stuff, if you don't mind, Jeff.
Please do.
So this is a perfect example, and we're going to get some other examples of this coming down the pipe, of when there isn't studio meddling, when you don't have the people like Jeffrey Katzenberg and the higher-ups meddling and poking at a film. This movie did go through a series of pokes and prods, but in general, Lion King was considered the B team, because after the success of Little Mermaid and Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast, all the efforts, all the energy was going towards Pocahontas. Pocahontas was the pinnacle of hubris from the Disney Animation Studios, because they were like, oh, we got this. We know how to win awards. We know how to win Golden Globes and Oscars. Pocahontas is the prestige picture. Hey, you with your funny experimental lion movie. Right. You guys go over here. We're gonna and by pulling back the suits and allowing the artists to just do what they do, Lion King and some other movies we will see thrive. Because it's the artists giving it their all, almost having to prove that, like, hey, we may be the JV squad, but we got spirit. Yes, we do.
Well, and one thing that's very interesting, I found this out, and I remember this. I remember seeing the trailer for this movie in theaters and on home video and all that, and the trailer is the opening song. That's all that the trailer is.
Circle of Life, yeah.
Circle of Life, up until the smash cut of the Lion King title. And that was the trailer, which just shows you could look at that in one of two ways. That could show you how little they actually cared about, even like, well, whatever. Here's just a trailer. It's the first 5 minutes. I don't care. Go ahead, just whatever. Like that mentality. Or you could see that as the people who were working on that movie going, guys, we have something really amazing that we don't even have to show the rest of the movie. We're basically showing you the chapter 1 title card, or like the first page of a book, and then just go, yeah, you read that first page, you read those like 10 lines. Yeah, you like it, huh? Yeah, okay, we're not going to show you anymore. Like, we're
come back for more.
Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting to see whether that was that it could be either direction. It could have either been the lack of care from the studio or the internal care from the people working on it.
Yeah. Well, this marks the last work with Jeffrey Katzenberg's name on it. This is the end of his credited work.
Oh, I missed the Katzenberg moment.
But we will get at least one more of that because, and I'm serious about the ambition. It went to his head. I think it went to his head, and I'm putting it on him as the figurehead of the animation studios for what we're going to talk about next week with Pocahontas. Now, I won't go into too much about that because obviously this is about Lion King, but this is the end of his era, the end of his meddling, and in some respects, one might question whether or not this is the peak of the Renaissance. Is anything going to be better than the Lion King? Which is to be determined as far as our conversations are concerned. But this was it. Lion King is one of the highest grossing movies of all time. It's the best selling home video of all time.
I remember everybody talking about it when it came out on home video. I remember that. We're now in the age. Well, we've been in the age for a little bit, but now it's becoming. I'm having more and more memories of these films when they were released either in theaters or on home video. And like, I know where I was in school. I know what I was doing. I'm remembering more and more of this stuff. And I remember it being a big deal when The Lion King came out on home video.
Gosh, I can remember sitting. Did you see this in theaters? Do you have any memory of seeing this in the theaters?
This one, I think I did see this one in theaters. It would have been the last one that I would have saw in theaters, though.
Oh, before you took your Disney break.
Right, before I took my Disney break. Because at this point, this movie came out, I was 10 years old when it came out. And after this, the next one was Pocahontas, which I'm like, oh, it looks like another girl movie. I don't want to see a girl movie. Ew. And then I stopped caring at that point, unfortunately.
Well, I can remember seeing this. I don't have like Aladdin and some of our I don't have a full memory of experiencing the whole film, but I can specifically remember sitting probably in the front row next to my cousin Aaron and crying when Mufasa died. Oh. Like I can remember being moved and affected by that moment like I had never been before, and
that's heavy stuff. That's heavy stuff for a kid. I mean, we're and this kind of gets into my first section at the end, but up until this point, by watching all the Disney movies that we've seen, yeah, we have main characters that don't have parents or have single parents. So it's either the parent has left or the parents have died or there's been a horrific accident. We have all of those things, but we saw Simba's dad be murdered on screen. Like, that's intense. Like
this is beyond Bambi's mom getting killed. We actually saw him get murdered.
Right. I mean, we've seen villains get killed on screen, but they're the bad guys. We don't care about them. We've spent the first, about half the movie, a little less than half of the film with this character, and then this character gets killed, and we see its lifeless body on the ground, and we see this little boy, the child of this character, crying and not understanding what to do and thinking it's all his fault and running away. That's deep for a kid's movie. Holy crap.
Yeah, that's heavy duty. This movie is responsible for addressing death just point blank, and it maybe that's why this movie succeeded the way it did, because it's certainly not pandering, and I don't feel that many of the Disney movies do pander. It's still a family film, but it brings up a lot deeper themes than I think that we've experienced up to this point. Very point blank themes of death and the circle of life. Not intending to be punny there, but to be able to
sorry, I had to do it once.
To be able to use this movie to, I can remember when I had a relative pass away, and to explain it to my little cousin, my aunt was able to say, when Mufasa went away, and being able to use it as a way to discuss death with kids is very powerful, and I guess this lends to is this movie good for kids? Does this movie have lessons worth learning? Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
But there are definitely great ways to have conversations with kids about some deeper themes.
Well, I mean, this movie deals with, loss of a parent. This deals with growing up. This deals with not self-loathing, but like self-esteem issues, like because Simba doesn't think he can ever be as good as his dad, and that, and then just it's obvious, very much so, literally a coming of age story because we watch Simba grow up from a cub to a full-grown lion. And it also deals with like anger issues because you really expect, not spoilers, the movie's 22 years old. Meh. But like it deals with like anger issues. The fact that Simba could have flat out have killed Scar at the end of the movie. Like he could have, he could have been like, no, I'm getting revenge for what you did to my father, and fling him off the, off the edge of the cliff. But then, but he lets him go. He's just like, no, I just don't ever want to see you again. Leave. So he's taking the moral high ground because he is not like Scar. He is not going to sink to that level. And it's but he, I guess you could argue he had every right to, because Scar killed his dad and then turned everybody against Simba. Like Simba could have just been like, no, I'm just getting my own revenge, but he doesn't do it. And it's kind of a nice morality tale there.
Sure. It's a wonderful, wonderful coming of age. The journey he goes from be this selfish little I'm going to be king to realizing the gravity of that, and growing up and being that better man is a great journey to send this character on. And yes, this is very clearly a couple of things. This is Hamlet.
Yep.
It's very easy lion Hamlet, which lends to what we've talked about, Sword in the Stone and Robin Hood and The Great Mouse Detective being great entry points for younger people to experience further literature and other bits of culture. And this being this animated version of Hamlet works really well. It also has elements of some biblical tales like Moses and Joseph, and there are other similarities, but clearly wearing Hamlet on its sleeve.
Right.
And to this day, denied by Disney. They say no plagiarism ever took place whatsoever, but Kimba the White Lion, which is a Japanese animated film that's, whoo boy, guys, if you want to just jump on and watch a comparison between these two, holy cow.
What do you mean? Kimba? It sounds nothing like Simba. They start with two very different letters, guys. Okay?
What if it is the better film. Lion King is a superior film to Kimba the White Lion, but it is so close. The fact that they just to this day was nope, we did not rip it off. It's just parallel thinking. It's just coincidental. I don't know, Jeff.
The main character's name is Kimba. Come on, how close? I call baloney.
at the very least, if this is a ripoff, it must have started very, very low on the food chain. If someone stole this idea, it came from one person, and everyone involved very well could not have been aware. And it wasn't until after the fact that's maybe like months into production where it's like, wait a minute.
Well, I do know that the original intention of the film was it was supposed to take place in the jungle and be about a bunch of lions. And be called King of the Jungle. That was what it was supposed to be called, until somebody pointed out that lions don't live in the jungle. So they went, and they kind of reworked the story a little bit.
But I thought lions, King of the Jungle. I mean, I hear that all the time. Are you telling me that idiom is incorrect?
You, sir. The thing is it's the whole the lion sleeps tonight has just brainwashed all of society. Everybody thinks because that song. You have been lied to.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle.
Also, Disney got sued for using that song. Anyways.
Really? They did? Oh my God. Well, they're Disney.
They didn't have the rights to the people who technically own the original song. Whatever. It's Disney. Come on.
That might lend to that whole thinking they're king of the mountain. That attitude. Like, we're using king of the... Sue us.
Oh, sir, there's a law settlement here now for us. Oh, again. Why do we keep saying this?
All right, I think there's definitely something we're talking about here. When you look at the structure, obviously being inspired by Hamlet and possibly ripped off of Kimba, all that aside, the structure of this screenplay is impeccable. We actually did get a comment from Thomas on the Facebook page, facebook.com/topshelfpod, if you want to comment there. He had a teacher in college who loved to cite the screenplay when teaching a screenwriting class. Yeah, he goes into more detail there, which I'll touch on later, Thomas. But 100% agree that this screenplay is really good. That the structure of it, the pace of it, the exposition dumps being very craftily put into scenes. And one of my favorite things, the first character you meet by name is Scar.
You meet the
Scar.
villain.
Yeah. Yes, you get the whole opening sequence with like the, it's a bit, yeah, like all of that.
Right.
Like you see Rafiki and Simba and Mufasa, Sarabi, you get them, right? But the first character you truly meet is the villain, and Jeremy Irons freaking kills it in this movie. He is so
Man.
good.
Jeremy Irons delivers what I can only say is a Shakespearean theatrical performance as Scar.
Man,
because
yes.
he is just well aware that he is the villain and he is going to deliver every line like a traditional theatrical villain, and it doesn't
it's
matter
so
what he
good.
is saying. Oh no, did I let that slip? Oh, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to. Like, it's all that just...
yeah.
He's oozing with evilness, which I love.
And he knows it. Mufasa knows it. Mufasa even calls him out on it, like, is that a challenge? Oh, no, I would never deem to challenge you. I have the brains, you have the brawn. Like, he is... Every line of dialogue that Jeremy Irons delivers as Scar is just perfection.
My favorite, and I made a note of this, but my favorite is right before Mufasa dies and Scar's clawed into him on the side of the mountain, and he leans down to him and he just goes, "Long live the king," and just lets him go. That is it's so over the top. It's so cliche. It's so theatrical.
No,
but
it's so good.
perfect. And I don't quote a lot from The Lion King because I just don't know all the bits and pieces, but that line was one of them that I just knew, and I said exactly as he said it. I'm like, yes, I love that line so much. Because it's so just so evil and so perfect and so evil.
the delivery that he's able to perform, and it goes to the script just being so well done. Really, really, really impressive work from all the voice acting. James Earl Jones. I mean, come on, you get a better voice than Mufasa. I don't even care. I'm least interested in it as far as trivia is concerned. 9 times out of 10 is when I see lists of, well, they wanted this person or this person auditioned for the part. I don't care about that. I don't care who they had up for consideration. The only little bit that I find interesting is they wrote it with Sean Connery in mind. But God, no way. I mean, whatever. Sean Connery, the legend that he is, yada yada yada. James Earl Jones Mufasa is. You couldn't ask for better. He is the king of Pride Rock.
His voice comes off sounding like a roar in its own right. It's so deep, it's so bass filled that every line he speaks, it kind of sounds like a quiet roar being formed into sentences, and that's perfect because you get that power and that demeanor of Mufasa just through his voice alone. You go, yeah, that's the voice of a lion. That's what I would expect a lion to sound like if he was talking.
King.
Yeah. Matthew Broderick, on the other hand, not so much.
We'll talk about them in just a split second. I want to say this, and this will be on the Ghost Hat page just below. If you want to have a good chuckle, there are outtakes that they presented with The Lion King 3D. So the video will be below this episode on the Ghost Hat page, which I will make sure you have, Jeff.
Thank you for doing so.
If you wanna love James Earl Jones even more, you'll get it with the outtakes.
I'm intrigued to see this. I have never seen these outtakes. That'll be fantastic.
So, but let's talk about Matthew Broderick. Actually, there's two things worth mentioning in terms of the vocal performances here. Though I think Jonathan Taylor Thomas as young Simba and Matthew Broderick as adult Simba do a great job. They are not the singing voices,
right? And
the singing voices are voice actors or even actors. The singing voice for Simba, you wouldn't know him by name, but if you ever saw Mighty Ducks, the Jesse is the there's the two little black boys in it. The tough one is the singing voice of Simba. That kid can act. Why wasn't he the voice actor for Well, I know why, because you can cash in on the success of Jonathan Taylor Thomas's popularity.
Oh yeah, because he was in the midst of Home Improvement at that point.
Yeah, and then the reverse of that is Matthew Broderick went on to win Tonys. They didn't know it at the time, but the dude can sing. So
Starring with Nathan Lane, guys.
Right?
Timon.
Yeah, multiple Tony awards for his Broadway performances. So Matthew Broderick can sing as well. So it's just not that there's a terrible amount of adult. Is there any adult Simba singing? Now that I think about it, I don't think there is. So
A little bit in Hakuna Matata.
oh right, yes, thank you.
Yep.
But the vocal performances from them are fine. I just think it would have been nice, especially because there's such African roots to this whole film, to essentially whitewash the voices to your main character. That's kind of a check in the negative column for the movie.
True.
Sorry.
True.
Yeah.
Well, since we are talking about singing voices, I do want to bring this up because I know I hinted at it on a previous episode and I want to just talk about it. So Jeremy Irons does in fact do 2/3 of the villain song.
Yes. So
For singing.
the Be Prepared, an incredible villain song. Oh,
It's-
with freaking Hitler imagery. Come on now.
I know, right? I've forgotten about all the Hitler imagery in it.
I'm not like praising that, by the way. I'm pointing out like what better way to show someone's evil?
Yep. Then make it look like the hyenas are the Nazi soldiers and the
Yeah,
star
just-
is Hitler.
Just wanted to be clear on that I'm not like yay. No, I'm saying boo, but impressive.
But
for
well done.
The boo.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stand over here. You keep talking. Go ahead.
So Timon and Pumbaa were sung by the voice actors. Nathan Lane and I am spacing on the actor who
Ernie.
does... What?
Ernie Sabella.
Thank you.
Sabella.
So they're done by their voice actors. And then Be Prepared, Jeremy Irons did do the first 2/3 of Be Prepared. The last verse, right after You Won't Get a Sniff Without Me,
So
is...
prepare for the coup of the century.
Right, that is not Jeremy Irons.
Is it Jim Cummings?
That's Jim Cummings.
Aha, there we go.
So...
Oh man, so that's what you were saying last week about how he can even do impressions of people.
Right. So now a lot of people like this was even up until recently. Like I wanted to before I talked about it, I looked up the articles because I wanted to verify. Because I remember on the soundtrack of the album, it said Be Prepared was performed by Jeremy Irons, Whoopi Goldberg, Cheech Marin, and Jim Cummings. Now
Right.
Jim
Well,
Jim Cummings
yeah.
does the third hyena in the movie.
Ed the laughing hyena. No.
Right. But Ed doesn't say anything in Be Prepared. So I'm like, even as a kid, I'm like, well, then who is Jim? Like, but this is before internet, so I'm like, I don't know. I couldn't just look up this information and be like, well, what does Jim Cummings do?
Right.
And it was years later that they revealed that, and this was the rumor, but it has been confirmed by Jim Cummings. He has confirmed that he did do it.
Nice.
What happened was Jeremy Irons like ruined his voice while singing the first 2/3. And
You really went for it.
right, and the theory is like you listen to how he says "You won't get a sniff without me," and it's very guttural, very back of the throat, and it could very well have like ruined his voice before for that day that they needed to record the song before they could get
yes.
to the final big part, which was going to get bigger and more grander and all that, and so they brought in Jim Cummings to mimic the voice as close as they can. So now go back and listen to Be Prepared. And you will, now that I pointed it out, if you did not know this, you will hear a noticeable difference in the voice.
I won't be able to unhear it.
No, you will not. And that's also the reason why they brought up so much of the backing vocals and why why Scar's voice is kind of buried in a choir and more music. It's bigger and because they were trying to hide the fact that it wasn't Jeremy Irons anymore.
Interesting. That's amazing. Oh man, that's so cool.
That was one of the first
weird.
pieces of trivia I ever learned in my life. And I always loved that piece of trivia. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like they did that and they didn't tell anybody. Like
It's those cheeky monkeys.
who's the monkey?
But to continue actually talking about the music, particularly that one, all the musical numbers in this whole film are directed so well. They are blocked so well. They are the visualization of them are just expertly crafted musical numbers. I know it's weird to think of directing when talking about animation, but the decision on how the camera moves and the blocking of the characters, and even going so far as I Just Can't Wait to Be King, the color palette changing when Simba starts the song. It becomes those pastels and those much more vibrant colors. And we just talked about the imagery they used for Be Prepared, even Hakuna Matata being a fantastic passage of time song,
Right.
to be able to, in fact, all the transitions courtesy of Hans Zimmer's score, using nature to show the rain, to show time passing, again, expertly crafted. But the musical numbers are so good in this and so fun to watch. So much so that, Jeff, I need to ask you, which version did you watch?
So I knew you were going to ask me that, and I wanted to make sure. So I watched a high def version of the film, but it's not the special edition. So
you saw the original.
Right. It did not have the morning report in the movie.
Now, I did watch the special edition release with the morning report in it, and this is another situation where the first time I watched it, I was like, whoa, what is this? It's funny because when I was watching, Candace was like, why are you watching this crap? Jokingly so. But she's not wrong. It stands out. And even if I didn't know that this was an additional song, I would point at that song being the least impressive one. There's not very interesting blocking. There's not very interesting visuals to go with it. It's a fun song. I just check out, it's just a slew of puns for 2 minutes, courtesy of Zazu. And it's a great song from the Broadway show. They always wanted it in the movie, but it was one of those that got cut because of time and resources, much like the Human Again from Beauty and the Beast. But I definitely don't think Human Again needs to be in Beauty and the Beast. I don't really feel like this one, I do like the song quite a bit, but I don't think it works. I don't think it's worth having. You didn't see it in context of watching the film, so obviously you can't speak of it, but I'm curious if anyone listening watched one versus the other and what feelings are about that additional song.
I do remember where it sits because it's near the beginning of the film, and my goodness, Rowan Atkinson's character, Zazu,
Zazu, why am I not loved?
He flaps down and hits the ground, and he's like, "Time for the morning report." And I know that's where the song normally sits, or where the song sits, and I know that much. Like in my head, I know that's where the song plays out at. But watching the normal version and me being like, yeah, I know there's supposed to be a song there, but this works so much better without a break into another song already. Yeah. Like just keep the story going. You know, we have a long ways to go until Mufasa dies before even Simba grows up. Like,
it's an unnecessary divergence from the pace of the film, and I think it does hurt it a little bit. But I will say, if you're a fan of this movie, I mean, if you're really a fan, you've already listened to the Broadway version. But if you haven't, seek out the Broadway soundtrack. Listen to it from beginning to end, because all the additional music, all the additional songs added to the Broadway show are unbelievably amazing songs. Shadowlands and the Madness of King Scar. There's some great additional material for the Broadway version that I highly recommend.
Fantastic. I've never seen or heard the Broadway show, unfortunately. I feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah, check it out, man. Check it out. Especially because it goes to talking about, we were mentioning earlier, that this does have more adult themes. It feels more dealing with murder and killing and all that. I think that this movie itself, Lion King, the animated film, is a more cinematic piece of film. It's more than just an animated movie. It's a really complex and well done feature film, beyond it being animated.
Fantastic.
There we go. So you have nothing to...
TC said it far much better than anything I could have said. I was trying to think of something to go off onto it, but I unfortunately I did not. I'm so sorry.
Well, let me flip. I'll flip the coin and try to be a little more critical of it. Do you think Zazu is just a lesser version of Sebastian?
Yes,
because they have very, very similar role. I mean, hell, if this was live action, and put a pin in that. I'll come back to it. If this was live action, it would even be like casting the same actor to play the character again.
Right, because Zazu, when you look at his role in the film, he doesn't really have one. He's kind of this. I wouldn't even count him as a secondary character. He's more of like a. Was it a tertiary? Is that the right term?
Yeah, that would be a proper use of that term. Yes.
Yay! I sound smart today while sick. This is only because I'm sick, guys. I was sober. If I was healthy, I would not be like this at all.
The truth comes out.
Guys, when I'm not drinking, I'm just sick. No, so because he almost comes off as a tertiary character because when he goes to try to find Simba. Like when Simba's stuck on the branch, like during the stampede, the wilderness stampede, he's like, "Don't worry, Mufasa's coming to get you." He can't even save Simba. There's nothing he can actually do, and then he gets trapped in that little bone jail cell in Scar's lab or Scar's cave lair.
Yeah.
Thank you, and sings him a song. So he's basically just there for entertainment. There's no other purpose for him to be there, but not even like the audience entertainment. He's only there for a character's entertainment. In the film,
he has a little bit of exposition offered up earlier in the film, but for the most part, he's the very definition of a tertiary character. And from a screenwriting perspective, or of just a film viewer perspective, if you want to know the difference between a secondary or a supporting character versus someone like Zazu, who is this non-character, it's the moving the plot along. Timon and Pumbaa move the plot along. They are part of the plot. Zazu, though he is a character involved in the plots, he does not advance the story. No. So he's not so much of a supporting character to the protagonist in Simba or the villain in or the antagonist in Scar. He is supportive to Mufasa. Mufasa is a supporting character to the protagonist and antagonist. And that's just a little screenwriting 101, storytelling 101.
But it's true. It's very true because you see Timon and Pumbaa, like them on screen, even though they don't show up for, again, like 45 minutes into the film, they don't show up until halfway through it. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed every moment that they were on screen. They were entertaining. They were fun. They helped educate, the viewer. They helped educate the character. And like you said, they helped drive the plot along. And like I enjoyed all of them. They felt necessary to the plot. If you had cut Zazu out of the film, I really honestly don't think it would have been missed. His few lines that help further the plot in some spots could easily have been given to another character already existing in the world. Yeah.
But you're not wrong about Timon and Pumbaa because, boy, every movie we've come along, I'm like, that's the greatest this of all time. Sebastian's the greatest sidekick. I think that Timon and Pumbaa and the hyenas, these are two amazing sidekicks. The duo of Timon and Pumbaa, sidekick to Simba, though they don't actually have that much screen presence or screen time in the film. They have a crap ton of presence and are so memorable. I mean, Hakuna Matata itself is one of the most well-known Disney songs of all time. But even the right before "Can You Feel the Love Tonight," I can see what's happening.
What?
And they don't have a clue, right? Like that intro into.
Sorry.
"Can You Feel the Love Tonight?" Those two as sidekick characters, as a duo, are so good. And I was going to touch on this. I said I would touch on this. Another comment that Thomas made was from that screenwriting teacher. One of the points that was made was that Thomas finds interesting, and I've heard this as well, is that Timon and Pumbaa are symbolically gay parents. They are a same-sex couple raising a child, and I've heard that theory before, and I really like that idea. Though I don't necessarily think that was their intended meaning when they wrote the characters. It is a meaning that has come out as time has gone on in a very positive, and it's a great representation of that idea. That's
right. I was going to say, because it's a representation of the idea that two same-sex individuals could raise a child, and the child could still it's not going to be messed up. The child's going to grow up to be still, a perfectly normal person. There's nothing bad that can happen out of it. We're getting a little bit too political here, but like it's a representation of that. No, it's not a bad thing there's nothing wrong with having two same-sex individuals raise a child. Like, look how well
Yeah.
Simba did. Simba came back and still had the morality to let Scar go. You know, he didn't come out like a murderer or anything weird like that. No, there's nothing wrong with it. Go.
Yeah, that I feel like is a nice way to have a conversation with someone who might disagree, who might say like, no, yeah, gay couple can't marry kid. This is my, here you go, folks. Here's a little game you can play. If someone is speaking to that, you can say like, you know what? Let's stop talking about this. Let's change the subject. You ever see The Lion King? Isn't that a great movie? And get that person to be like, oh yeah, I love The Lion. Hakuna Matata, all right? Like Scar, be prepared. It's like, yeah, Timon and Pumbaa, how great are they? Oh, I love Timon and Pumbaa. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. You know, they're a gay couple. Oh. What? Oh yeah, I mean, they're a same-sex couple that adopted and raised a kid to be a perfectly healthy person, or an individual. I hate The Lion King.
Yep, that's where I was expecting that to go. So
Rock. You can rock some worlds. There you go. Obviously, we don't like to get too political on this, so I'll move along here.
I do, but yeah, I do want to just really, I want to agree that I love Timon and Pumbaa. They are my favorite part of this movie. So much so that, like, I've never seen the sequels. I've never seen Lion King 2. What is it? The Pride Rock or whatever. Simba's. I don't even know. I don't care. I've never seen any of the sequels except for Lion King 1.5.
Because it's Guildenstern and Rosencrantz are dead.
Exactly, and I love that so much. And it's Timon. Oh, it is. I'm sorry. I'm going to say something a little negative here. I actually think it's better than The Lion King.
Oh, but Jeff, much like The Godfather 2 is the better film than Godfather 1, can you truly appreciate the second movie without having seen the first movie?
No, and I will completely agree with that, because you need to have seen the first one, experienced the first one, and know the first one in order for half of the sequel to make any sense. And I will completely agree with you that they are, you could say they could be a hashtag package film if you really want to, where you could combine, or I almost put on Lion King 1.5 yesterday after I finished watching Lion King, but I didn't want to confuse myself with what happened in Lion King and what happened in the sequel. So I did not.
For those not in the know, Hamlet being I don't know, have you heard of the play Hamlet, Jeff? It's a little known play written by a little known guy named Bill Shakespeare.
That's the two people in Verona that love each other?
Yeah.
Okay. I totally seen it. Love it. It's great. Leo was fantastic in it.
There's a
I know it's not Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, that's Chocolat. There's a play that was created called Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, which are Hamlet's two buddies, and they are responsible for everything that happens in the play Hamlet by accident. They accidentally cause everything that happens. So by embracing that Lion King is so much like Hamlet's, they did a Timon and Pumbaa movie, Lion King 1.5, where they're responsible for everything that happens.
And they're the main characters, and like it literally opens with the opening of The Lion King, but then I think Timon pops up a kind of Mystery Science Theater style, and like fast forwards through the film until they get to their part. Like
get to our part.
And then I think Pumbaa like skips it back, and he's like, "No, wait, we have to go back. We have to tell the whole story." Like it's just back and forth. It's very entertaining. I think it's hilarious.
Though I do, as anyone listening to this cast long enough knows, I do turn my nose up at the direct-to-DVD sequels. They just don't have the resources or the passion behind them that creates the original films. Most times they are just cash grabs. There are these rare exceptions, like I mentioned last week, Aladdin 3, by getting Robin Williams back. Even the Hercules cartoon series isn't too shabby. Lilo and Stitch, like a lot of the Renaissance eras have spin-off movies and shows. The Lion King 1.5 definitely falls into that ballpark of, oh no, this one actually is worth it. I challenge people to go watch the second Lion King though and see if that's any good. I believe I mentioned that
Simba's Pride.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that on the episode where the Q&A, the bonus I did a few weeks ago, that it's not that's one to go back and rewatch because it might not be as good as you remember it.
Oh, so that one was influenced by Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah,
Of course it was. Also, in
Well,
case
let's talk
there's
about-
anybody outside of America listening to this podcast, if you don't know, Lion King 1.5 is called Lion King 3 Hakuna Matata elsewhere in the world. Just in case, okay, everybody? just so everybody knows, just in case. Okay, anyways, you were saying.
Okay.
Go.
I just wanted to mention the hyenas one more time, that they are such great hench people because they have 3 distinct personalities and performed great by Cheech Marin, Whoopi Goldberg, and Jim Cummings doing Ed, though he's just laughing through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
They are very distinct characters in support of Scar, and that's how you successfully create hench people. Because if you look at like the Dobermans from Oliver and Company, do you even remember their names? No.
No.
Right, it's or the hench people to Maleficent, or I think a better example would be like Edgar and Horace or Jasper and Horace from Cruella de Vil's hench people from 101 Dalmatians. They're 2 distinct personalities, and the hyenas are just great examples of how to do that right. So definitely worth, again, tipping the hat to the script itself. But there is something here that I'm surprised no one commented on in the comment section, or maybe I just didn't see it. What's with the inconsistency on which animals can and cannot talk? We've done it again.
Yep. We've done it again.
Because-
We've come across characters where some of the animals can talk, some of them can't. Like it seems like it's only the lions and the hyenas, and then Timon and Pumbaa. And I guess Zazu.
But what about like the wildebeest and the bugs and the birds? But then there are birds like Zazu that can talk. It's just it's once again that strange inconsistency that once I was aware of it, it was hard to ignore. Like, well, okay, it really is. The characters that need to be part of the plot can talk, so that's the convenience to it. And
Right.
the ones that don't need to talk don't talk. And
It's like, we don't want to cast another voice actor for 2 lines. Sorry, guys. That animal just doesn't talk at all.
like the wildebeests are just a force of nature. No one's blaming them for murdering Mufasa.
I know. Now there's the one thing. Okay. Let's look at Scar's plan really quickly. So his whole plan was that he was going to get Simba down in the valley. The wildebeest were going to come down. We're going to get Mufasa to come down to save Simba. And then I'm assuming the plan was to have both of them trampled by the wildebeest.
Okay.
Right? Like, I'm assuming
Yeah,
that was the plan, right?
He was gonna. Yeah, they were both gonna get just destroyed by the wildebeest.
So, in that light, now obviously Simba managed to survive, so then Scar had to improvise and say, well, it was his fault that Mufasa died. He was the one that led, that was playing around where he shouldn't have been, and Mufasa wouldn't have gone down there if he was listening to his father. But
Right.
it's like, okay, well, yes, but the wildebeest still killed Mufasa. Like, yeah, okay, yes.
Well, I'm sure they ate every one of them.
Every single one of them.
Every single one of them. They had a big old bonfire, and then once all of them were eaten, they needed someone to blame.
Cooked
someone
wildebeest.
to blame. Yeah, it's just an inconsistency of like, okay, once again, we have characters who can talk and characters who can't, all within the animal kingdom.
Fascinating as per usual. So weird. Maybe one day we'll get to the we'll figure out why this is the case. Now I do know that there is a theory regarding the fact that some people believe the Lion King takes place inside of the same world as Planet of the Apes. Like, let's just go that crazy weird.
That's definitely a theory I was not expecting. So, where in the Planet of the Apes timeline does Lion King take place?
Supposed to be like during pretty much around the same time as I will link to the article on the Ghost Hat page underneath for this episode. But basically the idea is it's where the apes have taken become the more dominant species on the planet, and basically the one thing that the article does comment, I'm just re-skimming it really quick here, is the fact that this is the only Disney film where talking animals don't interact with humans in some way.
Not true, but that's fine.
Well, that they're still at least established in a world with humans. We have no
Okay,
idea if
I
there's
see.
humans in this world right now. We don't like even
Gotcha,
if even with Bambi, man was there, but man was never seen. And obviously all the package films were kind of along that same line. I guess you could argue that like Robin Hood.
Right, but okay, I think I see what they're saying, that in an animal film where the animals exist in the human world, they don't interact with humans.
Right.
Right. And we did get actually a tweet by this from Peter. What era is this set in? Bowling? Did we order this food to go? It's a Small World? Lovely Coconuts by Monty Python? There's a lot of modern references.
Oh yeah.
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Dee-dee-dee.
Oh,
So
I love that song.
There are a lot of modern references within the animals. I don't feel like any of them come out of context though, because this doesn't feel like it's supposed to be any era, and so why couldn't it be set in the 90s that it came out in?
Right. Now you could very well argue, if we want to try to place it in an era, by placing it in a world where it's the far distant future, perhaps this is before Aladdin takes place. Maybe or it's possible this could be well after Aladdin. So like if Aladdin is in the distant future, then this would have to also be in the distant future, but before Robin Hood and all of those take place, because the Robin Hood movies and all that takes place in that era where animals have adapted into a human civilization. They are walking around like humans. They're walking around like the apes did in Planet of the Apes. Snap, buddy. So this takes place actually before Robin Hood then, but still all before Aladdin, because Aladdin would be way in the distant future when the world is just kaput and the humans came back.
I don't know if it's even worth trying to figure out where this movie takes place. If I'm being honest, I like trying to figure out where Little Mermaid fits into the grand scheme of things, and Beauty and the Beast and whatnot. But I don't know. This movie it never struck me to try to figure out where this movie fits into any other canon of Disney films. At the most, because it's so comparable to Bambi, it's. If that's being the case, then it exists in the same era or realm as Bambi, and therefore man does exist. We just never see them in the Pride Lands.
Right. Yeah,
Which,
I never anticipated it being anything but just in the modern day. Honestly.
Yeah. Maybe it just doesn't matter.
Right.
Well, I have some questions here, and so the first question is: of all the movies we've watched so far on this list,
you jerk face!
I gotcha. I was actually waiting. I was going to let you ask this time, but
My mind is not here right now. I'm so sorry.
between Aladdin and Lion King, so those are the only two we have for this so far.
Right.
How do you rank it? What's the 1-2 here?
Honestly, it's my number 2.
Okay.
It's
All
a
right.
good movie. I love the songs from it. I do like a lot of the characters, but at the end of the day, I would happily put back in Aladdin before I'd put a Lion King on again.
Any of them. Any of the
any of
Lion
them.
Kings.
Any of
the
the
three
movies-
movies or the Timon and Pumbaa show.
Right. It's like, no, I'm probably going to watch Aladdin beforehand. So I think it's just, it goes back to like a lot of what we talked about last week, just about Aladdin and just about the love I have of that movie, and just the humor and the writing and the pacing and the characters. And I just love Jafar. I love Iago. I love all of them. So I don't have as much of a love for The Lion King as I do for Aladdin. Aladdin's just right up my alley in every conceivable way. The Lion King has some of it, just not all of it.
Yeah, for me, this is so close. Tied as far as I'm concerned. But because what is so good about them is so different. The music being so different, the cinematic feel of The Lion King versus Aladdin. But in the end, I fall in the same camp as you. I would probably pop in Aladdin before I would pop in Lion King. But again, super close margin here. Mm-hmm. They're both just incredible films, and Lion King is, to be determined as we rewatch Pocahontas and Hercules and some of the movies coming down. But I think Lion King is the peak of the Renaissance. I think it's kind of downhill from here. We'll discuss that as it unfolds. But this movie is so darn good. But Aladdin is the more, I think it might come down to that Lion King asks for a little more investment of your attention than Aladdin, which is so, especially once the genie's involved, is so fast. It's popcorn, right? There's a lot happening, and it's easy to digest in small doses. Whereas Lion King does offer ask of more of your attention. So that's what gives Aladdin the edge. And that's really close. So there's my long-winded response. We have a tied number one. We've made it 2 weeks in a row.
Now that's probably not going to last very much longer, I have a feeling, but
we'll see. We'll see.
See what happens.
So I do have some comments from the Facebook page. So if you ever want to tweet at us, you can Twitterpate at me at TC's Big Head. You can Twitterpate at Jeff at Random Bell, or which seems to be the best way to get a hold of us is the Facebook page, facebook.com/TopShelfPod, and a good slew of responses. And some of you got in as we're recording, so there's a couple on here that I'm reading cold. Natasha says, "Great movie. I still cry when Mufasa dies. I also love how Zazu says Scar would make a great throw rug. And in Hercules, Scar shows up as a rug." Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
it's well played.
That's true.
Well pointed out, Natasha. I do like that line. He's like, he'd make a nice throw rug. And if he ever gets dirty, you can take him outside and beat him. That's a very sharp bit of dialogue right there. Thank you for listening, Natasha. Colin... actually, Colin has a question that will work really nicely for our Moana podcast down the road. So Colin mentioned that again. Aaron Williams says he was never a huge fan, although he must have watched it a bunch. His best memory was sometime after it came out, Elton John was doing a promotion for McDonald's. Just about the only thing that Aaron knew was Crocodile Rock, and he always thought that song was cut from The Lion King. And a friend asked him if he was serious. You know what? Crocodile Rock would work perfectly in a Lion King movie.
Yes, it would have, actually. I'm surprised they didn't do that.
And then a comment here from Thomas. Thank you for listening, Thomas. And Aaron, thank you for listening. You know what? Aaron had some really nice words for us that he posted to the Facebook page. And Aaron, I want to thank you for your comments, just praising us and let us know we're doing a good job. It's nice to be validated, and we appreciate all the listeners and everyone who comments and likes and shares. So thank you guys for that. Just wanted to say that real quick.
Yes, definitely. I definitely agree.
Thomas threw out some questions, which I've already touched on, but he wants to know, does this movie successfully confirm that Disney's talking cat movies are better than their talking dog movies?
Good theory. Good. I'd have to say yes.
But he does have some serious questions here. Wait, does he have serious questions here? Yes, he does. Okay, sorry. Click to expand. Have you ever watched this movie and imagined that Rafiki is just a monkey with mental problems? He does spend half the movie off on his own laughing, and that he just roamed around the jungle telling everyone, "You're Mufasa's boy," until he found the right lion. I think that he's senile, even if he's actually a great supporting character. Thomas, well played.
Well played. I like that theory. That theory is better than the theories that I would have had for this movie.
One of my favorite moments in this whole movie is with Rafiki, where he hits Simba on the head, and he's like, "Why did you do that?" And he goes, "Who cares? It's in the past." And then talks a little bit more, and he says, "You can either learn from your lessons or repeat it." And he swings, and Simba ducks. He's like, "Aha! You learned." And then that's such a really, really fine moment. It's a lesson. It's a great lesson. I love that moment. Is he crazy? Yes, Thomas, yes. He is crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
And Chris Scholes says it's a classic, but is anyone asking for a quote unquote live version? No,
not at all.
I don't think I need to keep harping on my distaste for the live action remakes. So no, because it won't be live action. It'll just be a really, really, really well done animated remake.
Basically, if you guys want to see the live action, quote unquote, live action version of the Lion King, you're gonna know what you're gonna see what you're gonna get when you watch the Jungle Book live action version, because it's gonna be basically that. Now, the voice actors they do have coming for the live action one, I'm very intrigued by. I like who they got. Like, I like that Seth Rogen is Pumbaa. It's like, sure, whatever.
Yep.
That James Earl Jones is Mufasa still.
Yep.
That's very intriguing. And then, of course,
Childish Gambino.
Yes, you got Donald Glover as Simba. Come on, guys. That's going to be fantastic.
So the singing's going to be great. And John Oliver is playing Zazu. Is that right?
Yep.
I think, yeah. He looks like Zazu.
It's well cast. Just we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see just what actually happens with this thing. I'm not gonna lie. While I don't want it, I am intrigued to see it. I'm curious to see just what they do with it.
I will remain cautiously optimistic that they will find some. It's Jon Favreau, who directed Jungle Book, is also directing The Lion King, and I think that there's something to be said there, because he's the kind of director who gains experience and enhances every movie he does subsequently. So because he achieved Jungle Book, I can only imagine Lion King is going to be better, just technically, than Jungle Book was. So
right,
I'm a fan of Favreau's work, so I'll at least be cautiously optimistic for that respect.
Fantastic.
And I do have one last comment, which was from Candace. She said that this was her favorite movie for a long time, and she wondered if it was because it wasn't overly girly and it had lots of adventure. And I think that's a fair assessment. I wonder if because they're animals, it makes it that much more accessible to boys and girls.
Right.
Because they're not inherently gender based. They're not inherently a boy and a girl. They are cats.
Right. And you can. It doesn't matter. I mean, there still is a little bit of like a love story in it. But there's also, it's also about having fun and songs and growing up and being a kid and all that. And it's very much so. I think, like you said, because they're not humans, you can relate to both of them. It doesn't matter who they are. You don't see it immediately as a boy or a girl movie. Right.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment, and also why this movie is so. Yes, stick a kid down in front of this movie; they're gonna love it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Of the 4 movies we've just watched, I don't think any of them are not movies you could. Hey, I'm babysitting. I just don't want to pay attention. You watch The Lion King,
and not be worried about about it being on.
And Candace made another comment that Scar hates hearing Mufasa's name. Do you think that might be that he might be a little ashamed? Or is it just that he's tired he just does not want to live under Mufasa's shadow?
Ooh, that's a good theory. I mean, I can see it as being that he's so sick and tired of hearing about his brother, Mufasa, the great and powerful Mufasa. I don't want to hear that anymore. And it might be that. It might just be more of a jealous annoyance, if that's a thing. Yeah.
And to speak the praises of the Broadway show again, the Madness of King Scar song is really great because he talks about, everywhere I look, I see Mufasa. There he is. Oh, what am I talking about? Like, he loses his mind really great. Even just checking out that song is worth it. But that is all the comments I had. I did have one more comment. I don't know what I did with it. It just popped in a moment ago and I lost it.
And it's gone forever to the ethers. Well, if you find it, we can always talk about it next week, or bring it up and talk about it on the Facebook page as well, if it's on there or something along those lines. But
Jeff, you made it. Your voice is okay. You're ready to chug a bottle of NyQuil and just go into a coma.
Just go to sleep forever. That's my plan.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. Again, if you want to hit us up on Facebook or Twitter, paid at us. You've got the info. But what are we coming back to next week, Jeff?
All right, well, everybody, next week we're going to come back to the 1995 film, number 33 on our list, Pocahontas.
Pocahontas. Now I've made this recommendation to you, Jeff, and I'm going to recommend it to. And I don't normally do this. I usually like to let people decide. I'm going to recommend the special edition on Pocahontas.
Okay.
Because there is an additional song added to the movie that I really feel enhances it, as opposed to the ones we've seen so far. And we'll discuss that next week, depending on what version you might get a hold of, Jeff. I do recommend the special edition for those listening.
Well, I will definitely try to find the special edition myself, and I would then recommend, since TC recommends it, I'd recommend everybody else find the special edition if you possibly can, and watch that, which I feel like we're definitely, as we said before, we're definitely in that range of films that it's easier to come by the movies. These aren't hard things to come by. They're kind of all over the place.
They don't vault these movies anymore. These are movies that you can find secondhand at the very least if they're not streaming.
Right, exactly. So, well, we'll talk more about Pocahontas next week. Hopefully my throat cold will be gone, and I'll be able to talk at full annoying volume for everybody out there listening.
I would love it.
I would love it, too. I couldn't do any impersonations this week. I feel greatly disappointed by that.
Your Nathan Lane did outdo my Nathan Lane. I'm going to work on it. I'll come back next week, guys. I'm gonna practice, and I'll work on my Mel Gibson as well.
Fantastic. And I will practice my... never mind, doesn't matter. So,
All right,
not worth it. All right, well, thanks everybody for taking a listen this week. And TC, do any version of the sign off you care to.
That's right. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll see you guys next week. We talked about things. I already forgot what I did last week. What did I say?
Oh my goodness.
We were the people talking. You were the people listening. This was a podcast. This is a sign off.
Is a sign off. There you go. You know,
play us.
Brand new sign out. You're gonna bound to just stutter a little bit on it. It's perfectly okay.
I'm gonna write it down. Next
week, TC, you better be on full par with that. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I am on notice. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
See you next week.
This has been a production of Ghost Hat Media, proud member of the Ghost Hat Network. Find them online at www.ghosthat.net.
I like the ending.